1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out there in Mandolin Land, Mike Hedding here, coming to you today with the old folk song Handsome Molly in the key of A. This is a really old song, another one of those with the theme of a lover goes away on a ship and then comes back and the spouse has remarried. It's just a very common theme in folk music, and I got this version. I've heard a bunch of good versions of this actually. There's a great Doc Watson version of it with him playing banjo, I believe, with a fiddle that sounds really good. There's a great version of Hot Rise playing this with String Cheese Incident, a popular jam band that you should definitely check out as well. So there's probably a whole bunch of other people have done the song as well. It's a very old song. We're going to be in the key of A, and we're going to do two solos. The first one is going to be learning the melody down the neck. We're going to start with just playing the melody very simply. The second half of the first solo will spice up that basic melody a little bit. And then for solo 2, we're going to look at taking that same melody and popping it up another octave and playing it up the neck. This is something I always associate with Sam Bush, an amazing mandolin player, one of my favorites. And what he would do is, a lot of times he'd play maybe the first half of his solo down the neck and then play the second half up the neck, or play the whole first solo down the neck and then pop up for his second solo and play it up the neck. It just helps that mandolin rise above all the other instruments. It's also a great way to learn the fretboard, knowing the notes down here and knowing where to find those same notes up another octave is a very good way to learn the fretboard. It's great ear training. So we're going to be practicing a bunch of things. We're going to be practicing transitioning around the neck as well. So we're going to work on a bunch of things in this lesson. I'll break down both solos note for note, just like I played at the beginning of the video. So we'll learn the exact way I played it. And then we'll go into maybe 4 or 5 different ways. I think I started saying 3, and then we got up to about 5 different ways to play the backup using open strumming chords all over the neck, some bluegrass bar chords and chop chords. We'll break that all down in the backup section. All right, here is Handsome Molly in the key of A. All right, let's start breaking down this first solo to Handsome Molly. So the first half of the first solo is going to be like a very simple version, and then we'll add some more spice for the second half of the first solo. And then for the second solo, we'll go up the neck and play it another octave up. So it's just good practice to learn the melody in 2 octaves so you get familiar moving around the neck. It's also really good for learning the fretboard of if you can play a melody down here, how do you play it up another octave? So that's really good practice. So let's jump into the first 9 measures, which will be like halfway through the first solo. I think it's good in this lesson to play a little bit longer phrase so you can kind of hear how the melody comes together in a longer phrase rather than, we'll break it down in shorter sections, but I think just initially to hear it in a longer phrase is helpful. So here we go, let's start breaking it down. Do that a few times, so let's do it a little slower. One time a little faster. Okay, so measure 1 is going to be a pickup. The solo is actually going to start in measure 2. So we want to get down to the 2nd fret on the D string, which is our first melody note. And basically what we're going to do is, instead of walking up to it, maybe something like that, from down below, this time we're going to come from above the note in pitch and kind of walk down to it. So measure 1 is pretty simple. Beat 1 is going to be a rest, so what I would do is count beat 1, 1, and then do a down, up, open 2 on the A string, and then a down, open A, and then down to this 4th fret, and then down to the 2nd fret. We're basically just going to be playing all notes of the open A major scale. So that basic A major scale down here, those are the notes we're going to be using for this song. This song has a very major feel, doesn't add a lot of like tension notes. We're just going to keep it very major on this song. So we're just walking down. And what I would do is follow the pick direction closely on this lesson. That's going to help you play the timing. So the staple looking symbols below the tabs are downstrokes. The V looking symbols are upstrokes. So we're going down, up, down, down. 2 and 3, 4 is how we count that. 1, 2 and 3, 4, and then 1. So 1, 1. So I'm using those downstrokes in a row to help slow me down and actually play the timing correctly. And then we land on that 2nd fret, keep that note down, and then we're going to do down, up, and then back up 4th fret, and then open A. So the melody is just kind of that long note. So that's the Wish I Was in London part. So that's kind of like the melody in its simplest form, and we're just filling it up with some picking just to make it a little bit more bluegrassy. So we're going 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And I like to accent this note, and then accent this note, and then accent the A. So we have. So let's put those together, not too hard. So we have 1, and then just a bunch of notes on the A string, and then one more note, and then back to that 4th fret with an upstroke, really important on the D string. So we're kind of just walking up these notes, and then back down these notes is really what we're going to do. We're doing it like twice, 2 or 3 times actually. So we have. So really important you do this with the upstroke here. So you have 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. I'm just looping measure 3 just to practice. And then we basically play a similar melody. Just walking up those same notes again. Down, down, up, down, down. And then we're going to go to the 2nd fret on the A string, which is like an E note. It's a B note, but it's going to be over an E major chord. So we play that note, and then we do down ups the rest of the measure. So we have 1. And it's pretty much a lot of melody there. So the melody is that Wish I Was in London or some old seaport town. So we have. Something kind of like that, right? So we're just filling that up with picking, really, is all we're doing. And I kind of like accenting those 2s and 4s on the D string. And then the A string, obviously, and then 2nd fret. And then keep that finger down, play the 6th fret on the D string. Back to the 2nd fret twice. Open A, so you have. So 4 downs there in a row and measure 6 to slow you down. Don't rush that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th fret. So this is the put my foot on a steamboat, I think is the lyrics there. So 4th fret, 2nd fret, down ups, open A, and then 4th fret on the D. This is over a D chord. Open A, 2 open, 4th fret. So we're really just working out of this shape. That's all we're really doing there. So keep your hand, this is a good lesson too, to not work, or to work on not having your hand fly too far away from the frets you're going to be playing, because you're going to be going right back to a lot of times to those notes you were just on. So measure 5 through the beginning of 9 is. So that's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1. So some good counting practice there. Again, follow the pick direction below the tab. So let's play that those first measures into the beginning of measure 9. Here we go. So I'll kind of play it again with the accents that I do. So I accent here, accent, 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 accent here, accent, 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 and then accent, accent. So we have the other thing you could do is on that second fret in measure 5, you could drone the open E if you want to get a little bit more harmony. You could actually do the same in measure 2 with the open A string. So anytime you have this second fret down and you're in the key of A, that higher drone string could work, and then if you're over an E chord, that higher open E string could work. So it would sound like this. See how I could play bow string? And then I would just play the, actually you could play both strings here too, the open A and E, but I probably just play the A string there, but it would work harmonically. Drone with the E. So see how that fills up the sound a little bit, and that's optional. I didn't write that into the tab, but you could definitely do it. I think it sounds nice. It adds a little bit more harmony.